Hi. Hi. Hello, students. Good morning. How are you? I hope all are fine and safe at home. Welcome back to online class, Grade 10, Social Science, Economics, Unit 1, Gross Domestic Product and its Growth and Introduction. Gross Domestic Product and its Growth and Introduction. So today we can learn about growth of GDP and economic policy. Growth of GDP and economic policies. Okay. Before that, we can recall the previous class portion. I thought you all have learned well. Okay. What we have learned earlier? What is economics? Definition of GDP. What is national income? Do you know what is national income? National income is a measure of the total money value of goods and services produced by an economy over a period of time, isn't it? Next, what we have learned, various terms of national income, that only GNP, GDP, NNP, NDP, PCI, PI and DI. Next, methods of calculating GDP, expenditure method, income method, value added method. Next, importance of GDP also we have learned and limitations of GDP also we have learned. Next, composition of gross domestic product. There are three sectors, isn't it? Primary, secondary, tertiary sector. About that also we have learned in the previous class. That is the primary sector is also called as agricultural sector. Secondary sector is also called as industrial sector and tertiary sector is also called as service sector. Next, we have learned about the contribution of different sectors in GDP of India. So, next what we have learned about the economic growth and development and the difference between economic growth and development and also the factors supporting Indian development also we have learned earlier and also human development index also we have learned, isn't it? Now today we can learn about growth of GDP and economic policy. Okay. So today we are going to learn about growth of GDP and economic policy and gross national happiness and also we are going to mark all the question answers. Okay. So please students listen carefully. Growth of GDP and economic policies. Here, what are the important economic policies? Do you know? They are the agricultural policy, industrial policy and new economic policy. Okay. Listen, what are the important economic policies? The important economic policies are agriculture policy, industrial policy and new economic policy. So one by one we are going to learn. Okay. So many economic policies have been framed by the government of India since independence. For what purpose? Means to increase the rate of economic growth and economic development. Okay, first one, agricultural policy. What do you know about this? This agricultural policy is set by the government only. For what purpose they have set means for the foreign trade and for the domestic import and export only they have fixed this policy. So this agricultural policy is the set of government decisions and actions relating to domestic agriculture and imports of foreign agricultural product. For domestic as well as for the foreign agricultural product only, the government only set this policy. What was the name of the policy? That is the agriculture policy. So, some of them are risk management and adjustment, economic stability, natural resources and environmental sustainability, research and development and market access for domestic commodities. Next, some agricultural policies or price policies are land reform policy, green revolution, irrigation policy, food policy, agricultural labor policy, and cooperative policy. So all these are set by the government. For what purpose they have set means in order to take decision and action relating to domestic and foreign agricultural products. Are you clear? Okay. Next one, industrial policy. What do you know about this industrial policy? This is very, very important for an economy. So, which is very important for an economy? This industrial policy. See, this industrial development is a very important aspect of an economy. Because of this industrial policy only, it creates employment and also it promotes research and development and leads to modernization and ultimately makes the economy self-sufficient. So, in fact, this industrial development can boost over sectors of economy like agricultural sectors and the service sector. It is also closely related to the development of trade. Okay. Several industrial policies have been enacted since 1948. Industrial policy on large scale industry, example textile industry policy, sugar industry policy, price policy of industrial growth, small scale industrial policy, and industrial labor policy. So what do you know about this industrial policy? It is a very important aspect of an economy. Because of this industrial policy only, it will create more employment and also promote research and development, leads to modernization and ultimately makes the economy self-sufficient. Because of this industrial policy only, the economy can grow. Okay. In fact, industrial development can boost over other sectors also, like agricultural sector and service sector. So, these industrial policies are closely related to the development of trade also. Are you clear? So, in 1948, this policy on large scale industry, for example, textile industry, sugar industry, price policy industry, small scale industry, and the industrial labor policy also, it has started. Next one is the third one is the new economic policy. What do you know about this new economic policy? When it began means in 1990s only. Okay, the economy of India had undergone policy in the beginning of the 1990s only. This new model of economic reforms is commonly known as LPG. Do you know what's the full form of LPG? Liberalization, privatization, and globalization. LPG means what? Liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Are you clear? Liberalization. Do you know what you meant by liberalization? In Tamil you will say தாராளமயமாக்கல். Okay, privatization, தனியார்மயமாக்கல். Next, globalization, உலகமயமாக்கல். Okay, so what is another name for new economic policy? NEP is also called as LPG. Okay, that is liberalization, privatization, and globalization. So these economic reforms had influenced the overall economic growth of the country in a significant manner. Okay, so it is very, very important. When it was started means in 1990 only. Are you clear? Now we can, next one is the human gross national happiness. Gross national happiness. What do you know about this gross national happiness? Gross means you all know, isn't it? Total. National, தேசிய, isn't it? Happiness, happy, isn't it? So, gross national happiness, GNH. Listen, first, it was started in Bhutan. Okay, the term gross national happiness was coined in 1972. During an interview by a British journalist for the Financial Times at Bombay Airport. When the then king of Bhutan, Jigme Singh Hoshan, said gross national happiness is more important than gross national product. So who has started this gross national happiness? Bhutan king. So he only has said that gross national happiness is more important than gross national product. In 2011, the UN General Assembly passed resolution happiness towards a hostilist approach to development. So urging member nations to follow the example of Bhutan and measure happiness and well-being and calling happiness a fundamental human goal. So what they call it as a fundamental human goal. Once again, when it was started in 1972, at which place? Bhutan. Okay, at first it was in Bhutan. Next, in 2011, the UN General Assembly passed the resolution, happiness towards a hostilist approach to development. So later it was called as the fundamental human goal. Okay, and also this gross national happiness contains 4 pillars. Do you know what are the 4 pillars of gross national happiness? Okay, first one, sustainable and equitable socio-economic development. Sustainable and equitable socio-economic development. Sustainable, that means what? Stable, isn't it? Nilayana. And equitable, equally, samamana. And socio-economic development. That is first pillar of GNH is sustainable and equitable socio-economic development. Second one, environmental conservation. You want to safeguard this environment. Okay, environmental conservation. Next, third one, preservation and promotion of culture. Preservation and promotion of culture. Culture is kalacharam. That one we want to preserve and promote. Okay. Next, fourth pillar is the good governance. Governance, that means what? Government, Archie, we will say. Okay, we will need good government. So, what are the 4 pillars of GNH? That is first one, sustainable and equitable socio-economic development. Second, environmental conservation. Third one, preservation and promotion of culture. Fourth one is the good governance. Okay. The 9 domains of GNH are psychological well-being, health, time use, education, cultural diversity and resilience. Good governance, community vitality, ecological diversity and resilience and a living standard. These are the 9 domains. Okay, which are the 9 domains of GNH? Domains means kalangal. Okay, or they are psychologically well-being, health, time use, education, cultural diversity and resilience, good governance, community vitality, ecological diversity and resilience and living standard also. Are you clear? Now we can come to our mark the question answer. First, Roman number 1, choose the correct answer. GNP equals dash. So, option C is the correct answer. GDP plus net property income from abroad. Okay. Second question, national income is a measure of dash. That is option D is the correct answer. Total value of goods and services. Next, third one, primary sector consists of dash. Option A is the correct answer. Agriculture. Next, fourth one, dash approach is the value added by each intermediate good is summoned to estimate the value of the final goods. That is option B, value added approach. Fifth question, which one sector is highest employment in the GDP? That is option C, service sector. Next, sixth question, gross value added at current prices for service sector is estimated at dash lakh crore in 2018 to 2019. That is option B, 92.26. That is the correct answer. Next, seventh question. India is dash larger producer in agricultural product. That is option D, second. Eighth one. India's life expectancy at birth is dash years. Option A, 65. Next, ninth question. Which one is a trade policy? Option B, import and export policy. 10th one, Indian economy is dash. That is option A is the correct answer, developing economy. Are you clear? So please mark these answers. And Roman number 2, fill in the blanks. Dash is the primary sector in India. That is service sector. Spelling is SERVICE. Service is the primary sector in India. Okay. Next, second one. GDP is the indicator of dash economy. Economic health of an economy. Okay. GDP is the indicator of dash economy. Economic health of an ECONOMIC. Economic health, HEALTH of an economy. Third, fill in the blanks. Secondary sector, otherwise called as dash, industrial sector. Secondary sector, otherwise called as dash, industrial sector. They all marked. Okay. Next, we can see this match the following. First one, electricity. Do you know which is the correct answer? Electricity or gas and water, that is industry sector. Second, price policy, agriculture. Third one, GST, tax on goods and service. Fourth one, per capita income, national income population. Next, C plus I plus G plus X minus M, that is the gross national product. In your book, they have given domestic, cut the word domestic and write national. Okay. Gross national product. So, match the following 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Are you clear? Next one. Give short answer. First one, define national income. That is page number 293. Page number 293. Define national income. Page number 293. Under the heading national income, first 4 lines. Okay. National income is a measure of the total money value of goods and services produced by an economy over a period of time, normally a year. Up to that, first answer. Second one, what is meant by gross domestic product? That also page number 293. Under the heading gross domestic product, GDP, that para fully. Gross domestic product is the total value of output of goods and service produced by the factors of production within the geographical boundaries of the country. Next, third question, write the importance of gross domestic product. 295, page number 295. Under the heading importance of gross domestic product, there are 6 importance. Isn't it that one? Study of economic growth, problems of inflation and deflation, comparison with the developed countries of the world, estimate the purchasing power, study of public sector, guide to economic planning. That's all. Next, fourth question, what is per capita income? That is page number 294. 294. Under the heading per capita income, that para fully. Okay. Per capita income or output per person is an indicator to show the living standard of people in a country. It is obtained by dividing the national income by the population of a country. Per capita income is equal to national income by population. Up to that. Are you clear? Next, fifth question. Define the value added approach with example. 294. Page number 294. Under the heading value added approach. Methods of GDP, you have 3 methods, isn't it? under that value added approach, that one fully. With the example also they ask, so a cup of tea served to you in a hotel is a final good. The goods used to produce it, tea powder, milk and sugar, or intermediate goods. Since they form a part of the final good, the cup of tea, one way to measure the market value of the cup of tea is to add the value produced by each intermediate good used to produce it. The sum of the value added by all the intermediate goods produced in production gives us the total value of the final goods produced in the economy. Value added method, tea powder plus milk plus sugar equal to tea. Value of intermediate goods equal to value of final goods, up to that. Next term, sixth question. Write the name of economic policy in India. That is page number 299 to 300. Only the heading alone. Under the heading growth of GDP and economic policy, 3 headings are there, isn't it? Agriculture policy, industrial policy, and new economic policy. Okay. Write the name of economic policy in India, agricultural policy, industrial policy, and new economic policy. Okay. 7th question. Write a short note on GNH, gross national happiness, that is page number 300. Page number 300, under the heading gross national happiness. The term gross national happiness was coined in 1972 during an interview by a British journalist for the Final Times at Bombay Airport, when the then King of Bhutan, Jigme Singye Onchang, said gross national happiness is more important than gross national product. So in 2011, that box fully you want to mark. Okay, the UN General Assembly passed resolution happiness towards a hostilist approach to development, urging member nation to follow the example of Bhutan and measure happiness and well-being, and calling happiness a fundamental human goal. The 4 pillars of general gross national happiness are sustainable and equitable socio-economic development, environmental conservation, preservation and promotion of culture, good governance. The 9 domains of gross national happiness are psychological well-being, health, time use, education, cultural diversity and resilience, good governance, community vitality, ecological diversity and resilience, and living standard. Up to that. Next, Human Development Index, that is page number 299. That box fully. Okay, Human Development Index. In 1990, Mubab-ul-Ha, a Pakistani economist at the United Nations, introduced the Human Development Index. The Human Development Index is a composition index of life expectancy at both adult literacy rate and standard of living measured as a logarithmic function of GDP, adjusted to purchasing power parity. India climbed 1 spot in 130 out of 189 countries in the last Human Development Ranking released today by the United Nations Development Programme. Between 1990 and 2017, India's Human Development Index value increased from 0.427 to 0.640, an increase of nearly 50%. And an indicator of the country's remarkable achievement in lifting millions of people out of poverty. Next, write in detail answer, Roman number 5, first one. Briefly explain various terms associated with measuring of national income. Page number 293 to 94. Page number 293 to 94. Under the heading, various terms associated with the measuring of national income. From there, totally 7 points, isn't it? That fully you need. Gross national product, gross domestic product, net national product, net domestic product, per capita income, personal income, disposable income. Okay, up to their own bracket have, isn't it? From consumption approach, DI equal to consumption expenditure plus saving, up to that. Next, second detail, what are the methods of calculating gross domestic product, and explain. That is page number 294. 294, under the heading methods of GDP calculating. Here, 3 methods you have, isn't it? From that heading, you want to start. Methods of GDP calculating: expenditure approach, income approach, value added approach. Up to in page number 295, one box has, isn't it? Value of intermediate goods equal to value of final goods. Up to that question. Next, third one, write about the composition of GDP in India. That is page number 295, 296. Page number 295, 296. That also under the heading composition of gross domestic product. From that to primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. Up to entertainment, healthcare and information technology, etc. Okay. That is third question. Fourth one, write any 5 differences between the growth and development. That is page number 298. Here 9 difference they have given. Difference between economic growth and development. You can write any 5 differences between the growth and development. Okay. That is fourth question. Fifth one, explain the following the economic policies. First one, agricultural policy. Page number 299. Under the heading growth of GDP and economic policy. Today we have learned, isn't it, that one? Agricultural policy, that paragraph full. From agricultural policy to 2 paragraph, and cooperative policy up to that. Okay. Next one, industrial. Next, new economic policy. That is page number 300. Under the heading new economic policy. New economic policy. The paragraph, that paragraph fully. Okay. The economy of India had undergone policy in the beginning of the 1990s. This new model of economic reforms is commonly known as the LPG, known as liberalization, privatization and globalization. These economic reforms had influenced the overall economic growth of the country in a significant manner. That's all today's portion. So, students, please study this lesson and all the one word thoroughly. Okay. Thank you, students.